What is up, everybody? We are back with our week two Stardom Situm after a crazy week one, full of surprises, full of duds, full of I don't know what else you want to
Surprising
call it,
duds.
Zach. Yeah. How do you feel about week one? Where are you? Where's your mind at?
Week one was good, man. Let me think. Dak did his thing. That was last Thursday. The Broncos did their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Judy's got to be a highlight for us because he's out for a few weeks.
Right.
The
Right.
Packers, obviously, and Rodgers. Everyone's blaming Rodgers, but the Packers as a whole were off. The
Mm-hmm.
Falcons looked horrible. But
Yeah.
it's a week of overreactions. I don't want to overreact, especially with the Packers, because
Yeah.
they're going to do their thing this
We'll
week.
gi-
But
we'll give it another week before
at
we
least.
hit the panic
My
button.
philosophy is you wait at least the first 3 or 4 weeks before you can really gauge who's for
Sure.
real and who's not and all that.
Sure. Like our cousin said, week one is like an extension of the preseason,
Yes,
if you
yes,
will.
Nicholas.
So yes. Shout out to Nicholas. Uh, okay, so let's play a quick game of hit or
I love
miss.
games.
Zach, this is a new
I
game
love
for us.
games.
And so we're going to look at your last week's stardom situm.
Yeah, I don't even
And we'll just kind
remember.
of go over, well, I got it right here. Don't you worry
Okay.
about it. We'll go over some hits and misses. First off, I'm going to go with a big miss, but this is not on you, dude. Okay? I'll say
Is this an
that
injury?
right up. No, it is J Rob.
Oh, screw you, Urban Meyer. Sorry, go ahead.
So everybody expected J Rob to come in and, get the bulk of the carries and all that. So it just didn't happen. He split 11-11 carries or plus targets or something like that with Carlos Hyde. Zach, why don't you just vent on this for a little
I
bit?
already kind of. Urban Meyer thinks that the best chance they have to win is to give Carlos Hyde the ball, and they have a connection because he coached him at Ohio State like 30 years ago. And to me, that's really the only logic involved in that is that he knows Carlos and he was a good player 30 years ago. Well, obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I mean, my boy J Rob did out snap Hyde. It's just, ugh, that was such a bummer to see that in probably their best matchup of the year. To see J
Hmm.
Rob get, what was it, 5 carries or something like that.
Oh
But
boy, was it only five?
I think Hyde had 9 and J Rob had 5.
Yeah.
Robinson was used in the passing game a good amount. Jacksonville kind of had to pass early and often just because of the hole they dug themselves and made the Texans look amazing. But I mean, I'm not giving up on James by any means, but the Hyde thing, it's kind of like on a lesser level. It's how I felt about Peyton Barber and
Mm,
McKissick with Antonio Gibson,
right.
which has been corrected this year. But it's I kind of get the same feeling with that. Robinson had a historic season after going undrafted, but for some reason, Urban Meyer feels like it's better for Carlos Hyde to get more carries. So whatever.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation in Jacksonville for sure. If you're a Broncos fan, you're looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, we are.
Hopefully getting an easy W. But
Sorry, Trevor.
I don't know if there's such a thing as trap games this early in the season. But it's
Nah.
it's probably going to be a win. So, and if you have players facing Jacksonville on the Denver Broncos, and
Stardom.
we'll get to one later. Actually, I do believe. But let's get to a hit, Zach. Let's get to a hit that you had.
Nailed it.
And I want to mention someone that I was a little uneasy about, you could say, and that was Jalen Hurts, who
Ah,
completely
you
balled
and our
out.
brother. Oh my word.
Well, I just didn't know what to expect, and especially Devonte Smith having his a good game there debut. So, what'd you like from Hurts this week? Other than that, he was really good.
I mean, that's what I liked. He really impressed as a passer, man. I want to say he had one of the highest completion percentages of the week. I think it was at least 70, I want to say. So that
Yeah,
was kind of the big question mark is could he improve as a passer? And I know it was against the Falcons, but
yeah,
I mean, you gotta love what you saw from Hurts, and I mean, if he keeps up the passing combined with his rushing ability, he'll be a top 10 fantasy QB easy.
yeah. It's how many rushes did he have? Do you know?
Not off the
I
top
should
of my
pull it
head,
up,
no, no.
but that is a nice little addition, and I think they have a nice matchup again this week. Who do they play? I don't have, let's
I have
see
the
here.
schedule memorized. Or I think was it San Fran?
Was it?
I want to say it's San
Jeez,
Fran. Yeah,
I do apologize.
they're at home against the 49ers, which
Okay, so
could be better, but
they'll
it's not terrible.
they'll probably be passing a lot,
hmm He
and then he'll get his escapes in there.
he had 62 rushing yards on 7 attempts, by the way. So
Wow,
we'll take that any week.
wow, yeah. All right, so those are the main hits and misses I wanted to mention, but we can move on from now. All right, so we'll start with the Situm once again. If you guys do want to look at Zach's rankings before we start, you can find them on Gridiron Expert or you can find them on Fantasy Pros. He does only do half PPR rankings, and I do believe you only do position based, so no flex in
Yeah,
there.
I don't really do flex guys. I mean, if I had more time, I would love to do every scoring format and super flex and all that, but right now it's half PPR. And of course, if I mean, people reach out to me on Twitter all the time, so that's always an option if you guys want to do that. But yeah,
Yep. You can reach out on Twitter. You can reach out on our videos. You can also follow the Battling Bronco Twitter page. So lots of avenues for you. Zach, I believe you ranked 40th, which is respectable this week for half PPR.
yeah, I'll take
But
it out of about 200 people. Yeah.
it was a hard week though, so I mean you can't really write base that on anything, especially with all the misconceptions that we learned about that we had, like Jacksonville. So
Yeah.
anyway, moving on. Player number one on your situm, Zach, is Zach Pascal against the Rams. Well, I don't know. I know he had a pretty surprising week last week.
Yeah, he scored
Why
twice.
Why are you pumping the brakes on
Well,
here?
I mean, for one, the matchup is terrible. Um, I just feel like, he probably won't score 2 touchdowns in a game again this season. Of course, you can make
Yeah.
me look like a fool, but to me, this week one game was just an anomaly for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be really inconsistent. To me, Michael Pittman is the number one option there. And I just do not trust teams that play the Rams. It's as simple as that.
Sure.
The only Colt I'm starting this week is Jonathan Taylor. And that's actually probably the case every week with some Pittman and Hines flex appeal in there every now and then. But for sure this week, Jonathan Taylor is the only Colt I'm starting comfortably. And then maybe Hines and Pittman as desperate flexes. But yeah, Pascal's going to fall back down to the earth after last week.
Okay. So this is like your fluke play, if you will.
Mhm.
He was currently, when I did the graphic, 69. He's currently 67. So, all right. Moving on. Number two, Devontae Parker versus Buffalo at home. Currently ECR wide receiver 49. He had a decent week last week. Are you worried about Tredavious over
I
there?
am. Yeah, I'm worried about Tre'Davious. You said ECR was 49.
I do believe
I
so.
think I have him like 55 or something like that, maybe even lower. But like I actually tweeted a little while ago that I would not blink even one eye if you wanted to start someone like Rondale Moore over Parker. Um,
Yep.
But I mean, that could change. I feel like Mike Gesicki was hurt or something this week or limited. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just making that up. Anyway, Parker might get the white shadow this week, which I'm never a fan of. And again, this isn't exactly sit 'em. It's more dislike slash temper expectations
Right.
for these guys. So uh, Parker to me again is a desperate flex and not like a number three wide receiver or anything. That's all I have
Okay.
to say about that.
Um. Oh, okay. So sorry, you
Another
broke
guy,
up a little bit there.
another guy I'm starting over Parker is someone we'll talk about in a few minutes here.
Okay.
I think you know.
So number three on your sit-em, we have the New York Jets running backs as a whole.
Yes.
And I didn't write down who they are playing the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Explain this one.
Well, I mean, last week was just a cluster, man. I mean, I thought Ty Johnson would be the main guy, and I mean, the Jets just kind of looked ugly, except for Corey Davis. But we know it's going to be a committee. It's going to be Ty Johnson. It's going to be Tevin Coleman. It's going to be Carter, and there might be some P Ryan mixed in there. But yeah, I'm not starting any of the Jets running backs until one of them can show me something. Until they have a show me game, if you will, as I call them. So yeah, they're
Right.
staying on my bench until further notice. All of them.
Yeah, the Jets kind of were expectedly um, not good on
Sluggish.
offensive line week one. So poor Zach Wilson is thrown out there, and they better fix it fast because he got hit a lot, and I just worry that he's the next Burrow. So
And Becton is hurt. So
yep, yep, got carted off, and he's out for the season, right?
is he? He might be. Yeah.
Pretty
I know
sure
it
it was
was
an
bad.
Achilles or ACL, something like that. All right, next up, Mike Davis at Tampa Bay, ECR RB 30. He had a decent week last week, where and then he gets
Yeah.
his really tough matchup at Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I mean, I still am fine starting Mike Davis just based on volume. He played 75% of snaps last week. And I mean, the Falcons fell behind early against the Eagles last week. So, and honestly, Cordero Patterson was involved more in the running game than I thought he would be, and actually did better than Mike Davis. So that's something to keep an eye on in the coming weeks. Is um, how
Hmm.
many touches Patterson takes away from Mike Davis. So, and then again, like you said, the matchup is horrible. We talked about the Buccaneers' rush defense last week. It's just a stalwart. So, Mike Davis is more of a flex option to me this week.
And last year, I mean, he really slowed down later in the year, so you wonder if Cordarrelle will become a
Yeah.
threat to his volume later on.
Yeah, you got to hope that this week you got to hope that he's involved in the passing game.
Yeah, for sure. All right, your last sit. These guys got a win, um, close win on Monday night. Baltimore. Derek Carr at Pittsburgh. The pesky Pittsburgh. We didn't mention them earlier. They had a
Pittsburgh.
tremendous win against Buffalo. Carr is currently at ECR quarterbacks 26.
Dang.
Zach,
Okay, so people agree with me there. Okay.
I guess.
I just thought there would be more recency bias after what he did on Monday night. That game was insane. Career high 435 yards, I believe he threw for. Um,
Yep,
Darren Waller's a
yep.
beast, but I mean, no one probably started Carr last week. You're probably not going to start Carr going forward until there's a bye week with your number one quarterback. And I'm not starting. I won't begin starting him against the Steelers, not even after last week. So I'm sorry, Derek. You played a great game on Monday, but you're not cracking our starting line. I'm still sorry, buddy.
It's similar to Zach Pascal, who had like a great, almost a career game,
Yep.
and then you just expect
Hmm.
them to fall back
Yeah,
down
it's
to
going to be
earth.
the T.J.
So
Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick buzzsaw.
All right, I'm curious about this guy coming up. Your first stardom, way down the list too, dude. That is Marquez Valdez Scantling. On your screen is MVS. Currently ECR 57.
57 for real?
Yeah,
I don't
man.
have him too high. He's in my top 50, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if he finishes higher
Okay.
than that. But guess who led the Packers in targets last week, Evan?
I'm guessing
He
MVS.
co-led with Devontae Adams. So I think they
Okay.
each had 7 targets, I want to say. Adams did more with his, obviously, but you know, this is to me, this is just a smash spot with Rodgers and company. I'm gonna start at least 4 or 5 Packers, maybe Tonyan will be the fifth, but MVS is a pretty good. And it sucks that they play Monday night because I'd love to play MVS on the main slate for DFS. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is going to be a bloodbath with the Lions, I mean, in Lambeau Field on a Monday night after what the Packers went through in Week 1 against the
Sure.
Saints, scoring 3 points. You got to feel sorry for the Lions here because the Packers are just going to take all their righteous anger out on Detroit, and MVS is going to be part of it. So, I mean,
Hmm.
if you're debating him as part of a flex decision, go for it. He's a totally viable flex for me.
And there were few injuries, so some people um,
Yeah.
may be hurting to start one of those
Oh.
flex
Well,
options. So,
that I mean, I thought you were referring to Jeff Okuda, who is out for the season, which doesn't help
oh,
the Lions.
well,
But he
yeah,
was not
yeah.
playing well anyway. But yeah, you're right.
Okay, moving on. This guy will have fresh legs because he played last Thursday. That is Antonio Brown against Atlanta. Currently wide receiver 22, which is pretty high. I think it's higher than he was last week, but he had a
Yeah.
good showing at least in the
Yeah.
first half. Why do you like him this
Yeah,
week?
man. I mean, he's kind of becoming almost an every week player for me. I know that the Buccaneers have that elite trifecta of Evans, Godwin, and Brown, and yeah, they're not going to be, they won't be passing as much as they did last week every game, especially not in this game. This could turn into a blowout, which involves risk because they could ride Fournette and Jones for the second half. But I still think Brown is going to get his, and to me, he's a wide receiver too. I'm starting all the Bucks wide receivers, um, and Brady, of course. But
Okay.
yeah, this is just a smash spot against Atlanta. The Buccaneers had a really favorable schedule going into the year, and this is one of those matchups. So you can't sit Antonio Brown, not yet.
It just seems I just get worried thinking about that Tampa Bay offense,
I don't know.
especially owning Mike Evans in a league. It seems like the only proof character is Godwin. Maybe Antonio Brown enters that conversation now. But the Gronk factor scares me a lot. He had
I
a
know.
lot of targets, including a couple scores, and Mike Evans just didn't look good.
Evans is going to
Uh,
bounce back this week.
so,
Okay, buddy.
all right.
He's
Well,
going
I
to
look
score.
forward to it. Moving. Okay. You
Yes.
guarantee it?
Yes,
Right
I
here on the
do.
Babbling Bronco,
I
he
work at Men's
guarantees it.
Warehouse, and I guarantee it.
Okay. All right. Next up on your list is Chase Edmonds against Minnesota, currently running back 25. Did he split with Connor last week? I think someone said that it was pretty close. Not maybe split, but pretty
Let
close,
me see
right?
real quick. 58% of snaps and 49. So yeah, pretty close.
Okay.
But I mean, if the Cardinals are, I mean, there should be a bigger gap than that. Edmonds is clearly the more talented running back. He's involved in the passing game. I liked him last year. He did well last year. Connor actually carried him 16-12, but Edmonds had 4 catches on 4 targets. So Connor's not involved in the passing game at all. And I mean, I didn't really see the game. I saw some highlights, but to me, that box score would indicate that they just ran Connor a lot in the second half because they were up so big on the Titans. They won 38-13. So I would guess that Arizona just decided to give the ball to their lumbering running back. He only got 53 yards on 16 carries. So Connor is just kind of
Sheesh.
a lumberer, and
Mm-hmm.
Edmonds. To me, Edmonds is underrated. He's got good PPR value, and this is a good matchup. So I might have him ranked as an RB2. Let me see. You could start him as an RB2, but a flex for sure.
Sure. All right. Yeah, I like that, especially against the poorest run defense of Minnesota. So, moving on, second to last player. I'm liking this one, Zach. Melvin Gordon
Hmm.
at Jacksonville, RB23. He got saved last week by that 70-yard touchdown run
Yeah.
late in the game.
He's
What do you like
Yeah,
about
he was
this
a
one?
fast boy. Didn't you say the fastest play of the week? I think from Next Gen
Yeah, man.
Stats. I think this was also close to a 50-50 split, unless I'm remembering incorrectly, between Gordon and Javante.
It was
Yeah.
evenly split.
So,
Yeah.
dude, I just love the Broncos this week. Like, I'm starting. Fant to me, Fant, Gordon, and Javante are all great starts, and I'd be willing to take a chance on Hamler and Tim Patrick too. Probably not Teddy, even though
Okay.
he played a great game last week. But like, yeah, 4 Broncos at least. I'm starting. Maybe I named five.
Sure.
Yeah, five.
So currently in our main league, I have Melvin and Javante in my
Do
starting
you?
lineup. Am I
Do you?
crazy?
No, dude. I don't. I
Tell
don't
me if
think
I'm
you're crazy.
crazy.
Not against Jacksonville. This is the week to do
Okay,
that.
good.
It's kind of, dude. Are you starting both Denver running backs and both Detroit running backs?
I am. That was my
Ah,
follow-up question, Zach. That was my follow-up
yes.
question for you. Well, listen, dude. I'm benching Tyson Williams just because that Baltimore backfield is scaring me off. And I know that's not popular among the experts. But listen, I am all for the Jamal Williams revenge game this week. He's a
Yeah.
fiery dude, and I just feel like he's gonna show up, and he sure showed up last
Okay.
week.
That's
Uh,
fair.
so anyway, I was gonna tell you I have four of the top 10 running backs in that league, and like two of them I have like their handcuffs, and Jamal Williams and the Swift
Who's
thing is
who's
really
the fourth? It's not
confusing.
Javante.
No, sorry, I misled you. It was Tyson Williams and
Ah,
Melvin.
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, it's really confusing. I do not feel good about starting four running backs on two
But
teams.
I mean, it's kind of the
Um,
week to do it, except for maybe the Lions. But you kind of have to after last week.
honestly, yeah, and honestly, I'm more worried about Swift out of
Well,
the
dude,
four
the
of
thing
them.
I love about the
Um,
Lions is that their receivers suck. They're going to have to pass a ton, like every game,
sure.
because they're going to be behind.
Yep.
And Goff obviously wants to throw to Hawkinson and his two running backs. So,
Yep. Um, and yeah, but Jamal just was weird. But
yeah.
anyway, we'll move on past my personal team here and go to your last one, Baker Mayfield against Houston. You got to be licking chops at this one. Quarterback, 15 this week. And he had a pretty good week last week at
Yeah, man.
Kansas
The
City.
Browns for sure could have beaten the Chiefs last week. That was a close game.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and Mayfield carried more appeal before Odell was ruled out again. Odell's out again this week. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like Baker this week. I'd be starting him over guys like Matt Ryan and Big Ben and Tua, probably even Kirk Cousins. So he's kind of a fringe QB1 this week against the Texans. I think Houston will show that they really are a terrible defense, despite the Jaguars game. Uh, and the big risk for me in this one is game script, and that the Browns will just ride Chubb and Hunt to like 40 carries and just run out the clock a lot. But Mayfield should still get his. I also really like Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. Uh, Anthony Schwartz. What's your take on him with OBJB now?
Did you see I picked him up or something, Evan? Is that what you're asking?
I did. I'm
Um,
just I'm just curious.
yeah, Schwartz. I was kind of surprised at how well he did last week. I guess. I mean, he didn't do terribly well, but he's a speedy dude. I think he ran like a 4.34 40 or something like that. Uh, Out of Auburn, so he impressed, dude. In his first NFL game, he impressed. Odell is out again this week. I mean, you can't really start him. I think he's hampered right now anyway. I don't think it's serious, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, Schwartz, he's kind of under the radar right now. I mean, he won't see as many snaps when Odell returns, but and it's weird because the Browns, I want to say Mayfield threw to four different tight ends last week, maybe it was three. Um, but yeah, he kind of just spreads the ball around. But Schwartz, I think he caught 5 of 5 targets, if I remember right, for 80 something yards.
Yeah,
So he
something
was
like that.
impressive.
All right, so I took that time to figure out our next thing,
What's that?
which is would you rather? Yeah, it all just fell in place, which is nice. So that concludes your Stardom Situm for this week, Zach. We'll have it on Twitter later. Again, you can ask Zach your questions. He does not have a flex option, so if you're deciding between running back, wide receiver, tight end, or quarterback in super flex leagues, feel free to ask him on his Twitter or the Battling Broncos. Moving on to Would You Rather. Zach, I have a juicy one for you right here. And there's no peeking, okay? Do not look at ECR during this. Just tell me from your gut. We just want your gut right now. Quarterback, Mac Jones or Derek Carr?
You're asking me who I would start?
Yes. And
Mac
wait,
Jones.
wait, wait, wait. Okay. I think everyone heard that. I forgot to say who they play. So,
Mac Jones at the Jets,
yep.
Carr at Pittsburgh.
And I try to include players that you just mentioned. So
Okay.
Zach said Mac
Gotcha.
Jones in case you didn't catch it. Mac Jones is the correct answer according to ECR. Quarterback 21.
I know you would do that too, Evan, right?
Shoot, dude. I'm starting him over Tannehill this
You
week.
are?
Yes, and I'm not ashamed. Okay.
Okay. Okay, we might have to talk off camera. Okay.
At Seattle
No,
scares
dude, I
me.
mean the Titans, aside from the Packers, Falcons, Titans were probably the three most disappointing teams last week.
Yeah, for sure.
But Tannehill isn't facing Chandler Jones this week. But you're right, it's in Seattle. I see where you're coming from, but still, okay.
Now, was it at Seattle last week with the Colts, or was that in Indy? I don't remember.
That was an Indy.
Okay, so you got the home game, homecoming, for Seattle, and their fans had a year off. That just scares me, man.
I hear you.
Especially after last week. So
I, I hear
I'm
you.
running with Mac Jones against
Yeah.
the porous Jets defense. So your second one, Zach, it is a wide receiver, uh, MVS as you mentioned,
Uh-huh.
or Rondale Moore. Hmm,
I still gotta go MVS, man. I gotta go MVS.
really? Okay.
Um,
That's an
like
incorrect answer, according to
based on what?
ECR.
Oh,
Rondale Moore at 54 and MVS at 58 now. Probably doesn't line up with the graphics, but just so you know.
dude,
So it's close. It's close.
yeah, and I like Rondale Moore, and like I said, I'd be willing to start him over Devontae Parker. I'd start both of those guys over him, probably.
Okay,
I
and
would,
he
if
was at
Moore,
50.
say again.
Parker's at 50, so that's
Oh,
that's saying something.
if if Moore, if AJ Green and Christian Kirk weren't a thorn in the side I would absolutely say Moore over MVS.
Hmm.
The Cardinals got to get the ball to Rondale Moore. More. Um, I mean, the guy is so skilled and shifty and fast. He's hard to bring down. But I mean, dude, like Christian Kirk and Zach Pascal both scored twice. Yuck, yuck. But to me,
Yeah,
this could
not
be a
gonna
Rondale
happen.
Moore breakout week. Right now, I'm just taking the floor of MVS a little bit over Rondale Moore, but I like both of them this week. So
Okay.
that was a good ask.
So this one's my favorite coming up. It's going to include Melvin Gordon, maybe even his counterpart, Javonte Williams. And I'm not doing this just for my roster, Zach. I know you're thinking it. Uh, and this one is Melvin versus the very popular Elijah Mitchell this week. Who are you starting?
Oh, okay. Oh, that is a good one. Oh, um, dude, I do not trust Kyle Shanahan. I do not trust him.
Good.
Um, to me, Melvin is safer. Melvin is safer. We know we know the workload he's going to see. It's hard for me to say this after what Mitchell did last week, but the 49ers are at Philly. Philly's got a good defense. I mean, I know the Falcons sucked, but Philly's got a good defense. It's in Philadelphia. And I know I have Mitchell ranked higher than Gordon by a few spots. I know that. But to me, Gordon is probably the safer play and the more favorable game script.
Yep.
I'm just waiting for Shanahan to Grinch smile at us with the Sermon and Jermichael Hasty
Yep.
usage. So
I told someone this week I'm pretty sure he hates fantasy football.
yeah,
Uh,
he couldn't care less. He couldn't care less.
but yeah,
So
Trey Sermon will be active. He was a healthy scratch last week, as everyone knows. So it's just going to be interesting. I'm right there with you, dude. I hate scary backfields. I hate the Patriots' scary backfield where one fumble and they're gone. I hate Tampa Bay's scary backfield.
uh-huh.
So I would be riding Melvin as well. And that was the correct answer based on ECR.
Okay.
Melvin at 23, Elijah at 26. Uh, Elijah or Javante, that's where I would be. It could go
That's
either way, but
yeah, that's close.
I would not be surprised if the Broncos ran it with these two at least 30 times this
Yeah, it's
week.
kind of like the Browns situation, man.
Yeah,
Same
for
thing.
sure. Um, all right, well, that's all I had, Zach. Any closing remarks?
No, just I mean, have fun, you guys.
Try
That's
to
the
have
point.
fun.
Yep, that's the point.
All right, well, hopefully the studs that weren't studs
Our
begin
studs.
being studs this week. So that'll do it for us this time. Week 2, Stardom Situm. Again, you can find his rankings at Gridiron Experts or Fantasy Pros, half PPR. And until next time,